So, herzlich willkommen zurück zu Stanley. Bin schon mal aus der Tür gegangen gerade hier. Das Spiel hat ja von vorne angefangen. Im ersten Teil bin ich hier, oder habe ich ja den Weg der Verdammten gewählt sozusagen, ja. Und bin gestorben, weil ich es einfach nicht lassen konnte. Ich dachte, die verarschen mich irgendwie. Naja, auf jeden Fall müssen wir jetzt von vorne anfangen. Und soweit ich weiß, merkt sich das Spiel das aber.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay, wir gehen direkt mal weiter in den Konferenzsaal. Die nächste ist, wissen wir ja. War die Tür da hinten letztes Mal auch schon auf? Okay. Guck mal, das ist doch eine andere Zeit. Es ist 11:19 Uhr. 11:19 Uhr, das ist nah, oder? Die steht, ne? Die tickt rückwärts, der Sekundenzeiger. Guck mal genau hin. Ich kann leider nicht ranzoomen. Die tickt rückwärts. Die nicht. Ha, die nicht. Die ist hier im öffentlichen Bereich. Und der Sekundenzeiger, der tickt rückwärts. Das heißt, in den Büros selber sind die in einem Loop gefangen. Wir sind schon wieder in einem Loop-Spiel. Okay. Ab im Konferenzraum.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ging er durch die linke. Letztes Mal bin ich hier durchgegangen oder da? Nein, ich weiß es nicht mehr. Ich gehe jetzt durch die linke. Conference Room.
Yet there was not a single person here
Ich werde jetzt
either.
genau das machen, was er
Feeling
sagt.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Tschüss. Hier gibt es diesmal auch nichts, wa? Hoch.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Go back on track.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Alles so machen, wie er es sagt. Und diesmal wähle ich nicht den Escape. Mache ich nicht.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
So, soweit so gut. Das hatten wir schon, ne? Loading. Loading. Ich glaube, jetzt kommen wir nochmal durch den Lagerraum, wenn mich alles täuscht. Da war auch nochmal so ein Aufzug. Oder? Oder? Ich glaube, ja. Den habe ich nicht genommen. Nämlich diesmal aber auch nicht. Aber der wird mich vom Weg abbringen.
Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Also wem das jetzt Durst gemacht hat, holt euch was zu trinken.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Tschüss. Das sieht nicht weniger erfolgsversprechend aus hier. Press the bulb. Na super. Mach mal Licht an.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to
Das erinnert mich
himself.
an X-Men.
Did he have the strength to find out?
Cerebro. Das ist Cerebro. Ist auch garantiert geklaut. Ach nee, ich glaube, das Spiel gab es sogar vorher. Weiß ich nicht genau. Kameras. Es gibt nichts zum Interagieren, ne? Nö. Okay.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Alter, was steht da? Mann, ich kann nicht ranzoomen, das ist blöd. Wir sind die, was waren wir, 417? 417 oder 427? Da sind wir, 427, direkt in der Mitte des Bildschirms. Ja. Employee 427. Okay, es geht weiter. Oder hier? Ja.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
427. Da. Das hat sich nichts verändert jetzt.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
Okay.
And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Offline ist schon mal gut. Warte mal, die sind gelb-grün. Rot-blau. Okay, ich glaube, das sollte ich nicht machen. Okay, wahrscheinlich in der richtigen Reihenfolge. Und dann denke ich mal, wird das hier unten auch grün. Aber, warte mal, wir sind gekommen von da, ne? Wir sind hier runtergekommen, oder? Nee, von da sind wir gekommen. Wir sind hier runtergekommen, ja. Ich guck mal einmal hoch. Oh, da ist einer an. Den hab ich übersehen. Hallo, ich bin Stanley. Okay, disabled ist schlecht. 1, 2. Mhm, okay. Das ist so ein Phänomen, ne? Knöpfe. Man muss hingehen, die Knöpfe drücken. Das geht nicht nur Kindern so. Jedem von uns steckt das Kind noch, aber sowas von Knöpfe. Ich muss drücken. 2. Okay, ich habe 1, 2 gedrückt. Wenn ich jetzt die 3 finde, die ist da drüben, muss ich wahrscheinlich die 3 drücken und dann die 4. Oh, komm schon. So kann ich ja nicht rüberspringen. Sag mal, basiert das auf der Half-Life Engine? Das wirkt so, ne? Das wirkt genauso wie Half-Life, das Spiel. Also Töne, Sounds, meine ich, alles eigentlich, was man so sieht. Ne, das ist die 5. Mind Controls, Idle, Awaiting Input. Da auch nochmal Zahlen hinten? Ne, ne? Hier ist die 5. Ich muss die 3 finden, dann oben die 4 drücken. Okay, hier geht noch gar nichts. Jetzt 2. Wobei ich noch nicht mal weiß, ob das Ding dann aufgeht. Oder ob irgendwas angeht oder keine Ahnung. Es gibt keine 3 hier in dem Raum. Das, achso, nee, okay. Mein Kontrollstatus offline. Okay. Wir haben, warte mal, was steht da? Kann man nicht erkennen. Okay, ist auf jeden Fall so ein Symbol. Vertikal, das ist, merke ich mir mit, sieht aus wie ein Ohrstecker, ein Ohrring. Ein Haus und das Warndreieck. Warndreieck und die 10. Ah, fuck. Haus. Okay, und wieder das horizontal vertikale, meine ich. Nee, hier kann man noch nichts weiter machen. Klar, könnte ich jetzt alle möglichen Tasten drücken, aber ich habe keine Ahnung, welche Reihenfolge. Und ich kann mir nicht vorstellen, dass das Spiel sich gedacht hat. Drückt die einfach mal alle. Da ist nichts passiert, ne? Nee. Ne, hier geht noch nichts. Gucken wir weiter. System power on, off.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start.
Ändert sich da was?
What's that?
4 Punkte.
You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them.
Ich soll die 3 drücken,
them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley.
Jetzt ist gelb geworden.
Oh dear me, what's the matter,
Gelben
Stanley?
Button soll ich drücken,
Is it
alle
that you
oder
have
was?
no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
Oh nein!
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. When you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Was? Das soll aber so total verstören, oder? Oder ein Durcheinander bringen. Oder? Oh, Stanley.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Mhm. Wir gehen mal zum Konferenzraum. Yeah, endlich mal was Neues.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Mhm. Oh, links.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Was soll ich da machen?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Okay, das war neu. Und runter mit dir. Ich überlege die ganze Zeit, was ich da noch machen kann. Also mit Gelb begann es ja. Dann habe ich alle Gelben gedrückt und dann sprang alles um auf Grün. Und dann habe ich die paar Grünen gedrückt, die da leuchteten. Und dann kam überall das X auf dem Bildschirm.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
So.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Wir rennen direkt mal durch.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's
Das
co-workers,
sind doch auch diese
the
Bildschirme
lives of
hier.
so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
Einer ist gefeuert, nee, zwei. 601 und 104.
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
So.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
Noch kann ich ja...
Controls labeled with emotions. Happy
Nee, noch kann ich nichts machen. Ich muss selten erst aktivieren.
Walking, eating, working,
Da muss ich einen richtigen Weg finden. Aber warum wird immer die 3 da angezeigt am Anfang überall? Es gibt keine 3.
Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible
Ich kann natürlich die 1 und die 2 kombinieren, ja, aber... Ah, die kann ich auch drücken. Was? Hallo?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Oh, wie viele Enden gibt's denn hier?
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
Ich glaube nicht.
And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
Ja.
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking.
Das ist doch Verarsche, ist doch ein Bildschirm, oder?
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
Das ist die Half-Life Engine.
It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Verarscht mich doch. Ihr verarscht mich doch, Leute.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Okay. Jetzt aber... Ich glaube tatsächlich, dass es diesen einfachen Weg gibt, den man einfach durchlaufen kann. Aber er hat ja erzählt, ne? Im Grunde hast du gar nichts erreicht. Es gibt viele Wege und total viele Mysterien, die man noch erreichen kann oder natürlich versuchen kann, irgendwas herauszukriegen. Und das reizt mich total. In jedem Fall, denke ich mal, haben wir jetzt schon das einfache Ende rausgekriegt. Wobei ich nicht denke, dass es irgendwie was mit einem Ende zu tun hat. Sondern damit wollen sie dir einfach einen Anreiz zu geben, wieder von vorne anzufangen. Das ist eine Nummer. Und er hat auch erzählt, ne, es gibt wahnsinnig viel zu tun. Also wie ich das gehört habe von jemandem, kannst du wirklich überall Dinge tun, von denen du gar nicht im Ansatzweise dran denkst, dass du hier was tun könntest. Du musst überall mal versuchen, mit E zu interagieren. Aber das ist ja wahnsinnig viel. Telefon geht nicht. Aber der Computer, der reizt mich auch irgendwie ein bisschen, ne? Muss ich ehrlich sagen. Aber hier geht tatsächlich gar nichts. War ich
But
das jetzt?
Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Natürlich kommt keiner. Es kam auch keiner. Okay, Leute, vielen Dank fürs Einschalten. Lasst mir gerne bitte einen Daumen da oder ein Abo, das hilft mir immer sehr. Und ich bin jetzt schon gespannt, wie es weitergeht. Ich denke, ich werde das nächste Mal... Ich werde das nächste Mal nicht die Treppen hochgehen zum Boss, sondern werde mal runtergehen. Mal gucken, was mich da erwartet. Also nochmals vielen Dank fürs Einschalten und bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss.